Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday, wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, everyone has recovered from the weekend and obviously the disappointing results. And it's classic international week. And look, of course, the rumours are out there of transfers and so on, and other bits and pieces of news as well. Of course, we're here to talk about four or five things tonight. Hopefully, I'll get your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, hopefully everyone's having a fantastic night. And yeah, hopefully we'll not panic ourselves with stories over the international break, but still, look, it's probably the only time now for the rest of the season before the summer window that again we get stories and so on coming through certain transfers anyway and such forth as well. But again, hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day. If you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to get the latest Liverpool news and all that good stuff as well. John's in saying, hi, do you think Michael Edwards will have a big say in the transfers next season? Maybe. Again, we're not too sure. I'm guessing probably not, because he's going to be in, obviously, with Will Hughes as well. Will Hughes will have the majority of the say, but again, it's more of a committee and more of what we've been used to when Michael Edwards and Julian Ward was around. So he'll be consulted, but it won't be just him solely. Of course, making the decisions just by himself. Whether, of course, it will be the full transfer team and the whole team behind the scenes as well. Anyway, but of course tonight, anyway, we're going to discuss Darwin Núñez. He's one that we're going to talk about. We're also going to discuss Diogo Jota as well. Obviously, those two injury-wise, we're going to discuss in tonight's show. There's been rumours about Luis Diaz as well. Not so much injuries, but of course, a certain move away potentially from Liverpool. We're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss Donyell Malen from Borussia Dortmund. And we're going, of course, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, Joshua Kimmich as well. The reports suggesting that Liverpool could potentially be interested in of course, Joshua Kimmich, which, again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below as well. But Chris is in as well, saying all three title contenders have players withdrawing from international duty. The mind games have started. Yes, they have, Chris. Hope you're doing well in the comments. And yeah, no, just diving straight into the Darwin Núñez story. If you guys didn't see the short earlier on, of course, it was reported yesterday that Darwin Núñez will not be part of the Uruguay squad for the upcoming games due to a physical issue. We now know this is a hamstring problem or hamstring pain that he did have after the Manchester United game. Of course, understand he has no serious injury, but Darwin has suffered problems in the last week. Will recover in Liverpool in the next 10 days as well, which, as Chris has said earlier, the mind games have started. I think you look at an Arsenal side of things. I think Gabriel didn't go for Arsenal. The defender didn't go to Arsenal, not to Arsenal, to Brazil, sorry, from Arsenal. I think Erling Haaland is injured or looked to be injured as well for Norway. And of course, with us, we've had Darwin Núñez not go. There was some talk of potentially Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz not going to Holland nor Colombia because of injuries that they sustained against Manchester United. So it's very much it's one of these periods, isn't it, where I don't think there should be an international break. I think because of the amount of football that we've had, I think, look, have a mid-season break, because from now until the end of the season is the run-in. We all know this. It's going to be, now it's a sprint from now until the end of the season. And I know you can go, oh, well, teams don't have, international teams don't have time to, get players in and gel and know about their Euro squads and so on. But look, I think that, more or less who you're going to pick. I think if you're Gareth Southgate, more or less if you have a fit squad and you have, an 11, you pretty much know what you're going to be doing with it. So I hate international breaks. You guys know how much I hate internationals. And yeah, it's just one of these situations where Teams will do it. And speaking on Diogo Jota as well, Jota is back in training as well. There's been reports suggesting that he's back running on the pitch. I've been taking, again, slow sessions and so on as well. So there's good news in terms of injuries. Again, Darwin not going, Diogo Jota coming back, could be back for Brighton. The conversation is at the minute, and that's around Diogo Jota, which again, if him coming back for that game, again, that will be huge, and him just back in general will be huge for Liverpool's end to the season. And you want your top players fit, because if we have a front three of Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and Mohamed Salah, look, again, I think it's easily the best front three in the league, without a shadow of a doubt. And let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. But I think it is more or less the best front three. And I think even if you took one of them out for Lucho or Gakpo in that sense, even though, to be fair, I'm not really happy at the minute with Cody Gakpo. Yeah, look, it's one thing. And one thing I should say as well with Cody Gakpo as well, the abuse that he's had in social media. I know we did a video on him. We spoke after the United game about it, but the levels of abuse that lad has had in his social medias is ridiculous. Look, I think you can openly criticize, you can criticize a player without going too far, and people just take it way too far. And look, I think that people just need to, with cool heads, again, have a perspective of someone as well, and have the perspective that, look, we're all humans at the end of the day. And look, you could be fuming at them during the game or after the game, but when people take it that step further, again, it's uncalled for as well anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota. Obviously, the good news with Jota is he does look like he's going to be back for Brighton as well, which is a really, really good sense as well. But John saying, hi, what are your thoughts on Danny Mills saying Klopp is overrated? I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment on an idiot saying a stupid comment. Danny Mills always glasses. That's all. That's Chris. No need for that, man. But again, I don't want to comment on a stupid opinion. Like, at the end of the day, if Jurgen Klopp is overrated, then you can't help yourself with football. If that's your opinion, again, I think you have a stupid opinion, to quote Jurgen anyway. But evening Tom as well, hope you're doing well. Obviously, the Ev will be happy that Forest got a points deduction. Obviously, not the full amount. That I know I was speaking to Ryan earlier, and Ryan was fuming about it in that sense as well. But Red Machine as well, big up. Hopefully, doing well, mate. We have to believe that in Cody, we did with Núñez. Yeah, 100%. I just think that, again, all I said on Gakpo is constructive criticism, and yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, I think you can be constructive about it. When you take it too far, you're an idiot. And again, I don't think there's no saving anyone in that sense as well either. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But of course, I spoke about, we've spoken about the forward line pretty much, and I'll speak about one more. Luis Diaz, of course, currently out in Colombia with the training. Obviously did take part in training, like I said, in terms of being on the injury list. There was reports, of course, that he was going to potentially pull out of Colombia, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I believe he did train today as well. But there has been reports of PSG, according to Santi via the Anfield sector, Luis Diaz is a priority target for PSG. Qatar have made him a priority signing. Now, what we do know, and just judging for this from information, again, we found Luis Diaz's agent has very good links and connections with Qatar. And obviously, I think the majority owner, or the full owner of PSG, obviously in that space, and of course having a full good connection there. Obviously, they're going to lose Kylian Mbappe in the summer, clearly now to Real Madrid, and it's more or less how are they going to replace Kylian Mbappe. And I think what their plan is to replace Mbappe with 3 or 4 players instead of potentially going for one in particular. I know that there's been rumours of Rafael Leao. There's been, of course, conversations around Luis Diaz now as well for a couple of weeks. There's been that odd rumour or two. Like I said, when there's an international break, there is clearly going to be rumor after rumor with each day that goes by, because again, there's no football to talk about. But it's an interesting one, certainly with Michael Edwards coming in and obviously Will Hughes coming in. If the right price is met, will Liverpool sell? And I'm not, of course, I'm not saying Liverpool should sell whatsoever, but what is the right price for Luis Diaz? Are we talking 80, 90 million? Are we talking lower? Are we talking higher in that sense as well? I would probably think Liverpool would want around 80, 90, maybe even 100 million for Luis Diaz, for him to potentially go. Obviously, there was talk of I think it was Saudi bid, wasn't it, around 50 million back in the summer. And, this was Liverpool's words in terms of it was nowhere near Liverpool's valuation of Luis Diaz. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks and months, of course, obviously with Jurgen going and who the new manager is going to be. Potentially there could be an option there for Lucho to go. I don't personally want him to go. Again, I think someone said it perfectly. If he could finish, he would be a £200 million player. But again, there is that problem that he can't finish at the minute for Liverpool. But still, I think Lucho is definitely a quality player. And look, I do think that if somebody does want him, they would have to pay very, very high for him. And again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. But I think we are going to be talking around high 80s, 90s for Lucho. Wouldn't be surprised if they did reach 100 million in total, considering, again, you look at PSG, they've got money to spend. When you look at that left-sided wingers in world football, there's not many of them. I think probably there are 1 or 2 that could be available, Lucho being potentially one, if Liverpool wanted to do that. I think for PSG especially, take a look at Rafael Leao. I think Rafael Leao is definitely available in the summer. If Liverpool got a bid, could Liverpool potentially go for him? Again, I can't see it personally. Of course, there's talk about, there's certain whispers now about Musiala as well potentially being available this summer, and Liverpool keeping an eye on that. It's only, the odd random journal discussing that as well. But I think that, again, Lucho to PSG, I wouldn't be surprised in the summer if they tried to fully get him in the summer. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. But high thoughts on Dom's first season at the club. Started season brightly, but not on form at the moment. Do you think injuries has just his season? No, I don't. I think Dominic Szoboszlai is a very, very good footballer. I think people start the season, I think he was given more freedom in the midfield, but I think as the season's got on and as the system has adapted, I think he's been asked to do different things in the squad and in the team. And I think people just get a bit lost. I think Dominic Szoboszlai is a massive miss for Liverpool when he's not playing. Look at Sunday, for example, we took Szoboszlai off and fell to pieces. And he's one for me that, again, he's a luxury player. I love him. I love Dom Szoboszlai. I think he's really, really good. And no, I think he's had a fantastic first season. Did fall off a little bit around Christmas time, but I think when he is in the squad, you can see his qualities no matter what as well. Diaz will go to Barca, if anyway, in my opinion. Barca can't afford him. They can barely afford, the kit manufacturers, let alone the actually buying £100 million player in that sense as well. But again, potentially in the future, obviously his dad spoke about it, didn't he? But yeah, I think that Lucho, it's either going to be he stays at Liverpool or he goes to PSG. I think, to be fair. But Chris saying 100 million plus, thanks PSG, you got the money and can afford him. Yeah, absolutely they could. I'd be surprised if they didn't do it, but Depends what they're going to go with as well, because they could just transition into a team that don't play with wingers in that sense. Obviously, with Luis Enrique, they could very well do that. But I don't know. You look at, like I said, left wingers in football, top quality left wingers as well. Obviously, there's Lucho, there's the Rafael Leao. Obviously, Vinny Jr. is not going to be available. So, it's a very limited list of high quality what you could bring in anyway. But big up LJ as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. As well. But yeah, it will be an interesting couple of weeks as well for sure. But Klopp needs to stop using Gakpo in every role and stop rotating him. Just use him as a left winger. Yeah, I would agree. And this falls back down to the market. We need a right-sided forward. If the next manager comes in, and and this is the thing, we need to sort the manager out. Hopefully, there'll be conversations happening behind the scenes now because the structure is in place. We can now talk about who's going to be the next Liverpool manager behind the scenes. I think for me, FSG have to appoint Alonso, and I still do believe that. I think he is by far the number one candidate. He's not the be all and end all. I would say apart to that as well, because I think you have a talented manager there in Ruben Amorim in Sporting Lisbon, but Alonso is outstandingly the number one candidate to go and get. So go and get him. You've got the best now in Michael Edwards back at the club. Go and get Xabi Alonso before Bayern Munich sort him out. Or again, the big one will be trying to get him, to convince him away from Leverkusen, because at the minute they're going to win the Bundesliga. I'm confident in saying that. And I think that hopefully we will see, in the next couple of weeks and hear that things are going good in terms of a managerial proposal as well. But I was saying Zobo is a confidence player on the ball. He loses it many times recently off the ball since he came back. His timing is not up to mark. It's also due to some personal change as well. Yeah, 100%. I think it's always it's always difficult though, isn't it? Because suppose they come in as a creative midfielder or creative forward in that sense. Of course, he's having to play to a system now, and of course, not saying he didn't do that for Leverkusen, but I think for Liverpool it's more structured than what he was at Leverkusen. But I think again that midfield three is probably our best three. I would say. But again, we'll just have to wait and see for what we do from now until the end of the season. I think Maka, if we had to rate the midfield, I think Szoboszlai's in the top three for sure. I think Maka's number one. In that sense, I think he's been amazing all season. But again, like Liverpool, in the space of 12 months, Liverpool have gone from a midfield that was crumbling to a midfield that's maybe our strongest point at times in games. Look at City last week. Again, we didn't do that good against United in terms of, again, controlling the game and so on. But look at that second half against City. McAllister, Endo, and Szoboszlai absolutely ruined Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. They destroyed him in that second half. And, how many times have we said if we had a midfield, maybe we may have won more or whatever. It's, it's something to look at, isn't it? And Liverpool, if we could get... I still think Liverpool are a number 6 away from the midfield being good, like solid in terms of overall feeling. Because I think if you were to allow Alexis McAllister the left-hand side, I would say you let him in the number 8 position. You bring in a new number 6, and then you've got Stefan Bajcetic to learn the role and, of course, obviously develop. You've got Wataru Endo, then, again, look how good he's been this season. And then you bring in a new number 6 who could rotate there while also having Alexis McAllister, who could potentially, go to the 6 now and again. But again, we'll have to wait and see who comes in and what we're going to go for this summer. But according to all the rumours, we're not going to midfield, just according to the rumours anyway. Are Kimmich and Malen good enough? We'll get on to those two eventually in a moment. But we lost it at Old Trafford when Salah and Szoboszlai came off. Yes, we did. I would agree with that 100%. I was just saying, I still feel Szoboszlai is roaming 10 or frontline player. I don't know his and Gakpo's best position, and it's really sad to see levels of Szoboszlai falling, given what he showed at the start of the season. I just think, though, as well, I think what we did with Szoboszlai at the start of the season, we did really run him into the ground. And, look at his injuries. Never had a hamstring injury. Did go on to then pick up one, and obviously got the few little injuries and so on. So it's not really the best in that sense as well. But I'm just saying, our best midfield, yes, but beyond the first three, it's not top class. I think Curtis Jones is top class in what we ask from him. Again, obviously people will go, oh, he doesn't score, no goals and no assists or whatever, or it's very minimal in that sense. But Curtis Jones, I think, is very underrated in what he does bring. Harvey Elliott as well, I think, is very underrated. Not the best starter, but you've seen the amount of times he's added impact on the games when he's come off the bench this season. I would like to say Thiago as well, but Thiago's, he's never available as he chat, realistically. I would have said Thiago, but Thiago's not in the conversation when it comes to the midfield for Liverpool. Anyway, of course, he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. But yeah, I think we've got a really good midfield as a base. It could improve, sure, we could. But I think Liverpool, you could be happy with it, I would say. Anyway, Nkappi also linked, isn't he? No, as far as I've seen. I haven't seen anything on Nkappi, but I could be wrong. But when I seen earlier, I didn't see anything with Nkappi, to be fair. Do you think FSG's buying a second club will benefit with founding new players and developing our youngsters with a second club? Yeah, it will do. But it depends where the club's going to be. There's talk of Portugal. There's talks of Holland as well, potentially. So it will be interesting to see where FSG buy the club. If it's Portugal, again, convincing young talent from South America would make it easier, because again, you look at the Portuguese league. It's pretty much good in that sense, and obviously, allowing Liverpool then to come through and so on. So again, it could be interesting. Everyone takes Kimmich in a heartbeat, but we know the last player we signed for. No, I don't take Kimmich, Chris. Again, if you're a regular viewer, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, I don't think Joshua Kimmich is any good. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But I think he's a player on the decline, and it's the reason why he wants to leave Bayern Munich. Anyway, but I will get back into the comments in a minute. Anyway, guys, but let's talk about Donyell Malen. Of course, he has got linked to Liverpool, according to Florian Plintenberg, of course, saying that he's been told that Manchester United are not seriously pushing for the 25-year-old winger at this stage. Arsenal, Liverpool, and other clubs from the Premier League are more concrete options for him. In the summer, Malen still wants to leave Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund in the summer. Price valuation from all parties involved: 40 million euros to 50 million all in. And of course, Patrick Berger as well, not the Patrick Berger, but Patrick Berger, obviously the reporter from Germany, also reporting that Donyell Malen still wants to leave Dortmund. Summer departure expected, as Dortmund is open to sell the attacker. Of course, he's got 13 goals, 5 assists so far this season, between 40 and 50 million all in. Arsenal, Liverpool are interested. Manchester United are not hot topic at the moment. Now, again, £50 million on Donyell Malen isn't a good option. Now, again, don't get me wrong, he can play everywhere in the front three. If we wanted to sign him, would be a good a good signing in terms of versatility. But again, we've got enough players in that sense as well. And I feel like Liverpool need to specify on a I can't really speak, specific position. I think instead of looking for someone who can play all over the board for us. I think you look at our current forward line. Obviously, Lucho on the left, Jota can play as a striker or play on the left. Darwin the same, Gakpo the same. It's only Mo Salah on that right hand side, and I know that again Liverpool have got Harvey Elliott there as well. But Liverpool need to sign a right forward this summer. They need to sign a right winger or a right midfielder who can play as a right wing in the summer. And I just don't think Donyell Malen is that. I would be very surprised if that was the case. Again, Arsenal potentially could want him because, of course, they want. They've got a forward problem at the minute. You look at the minute there, they've got obviously Gabriel Jesus and they've got Nketiah as well, but they want a goal scoring striker. Again, I think if you asked every single Arsenal fan what is the main thing they want this summer, is a number 9. They want a striker. And is Donyell Malen that? I don't think he is. Could that potentially mean that he goes to a Premier League club? Again, I can't see Liverpool getting him. But then again, we don't know who the manager is going to be. We could be playing a completely different system. We could be playing with 2 strikers next season. We could be playing, 4-2-3-1, where it's just 1 striker, and we've got, we're playing more of a right mid, a left mid, more so than an inside forward in that regard as well. So there's definitely, the rumors will be flying out there, of course, with him and so on. But I can't personally see Liverpool going for him. And I do think, again, Liverpool's name has just been thrown into the hat for the sake of it. But yeah, I think that overall, Donyell Malen, I can't see him joining Liverpool anytime soon. But saying that, I think Donyell Malen, I think we spoke about him, I think just before he joined Borussia Dortmund. I think that as a squad option back then, I think a lot of people would have taken him. I think we even said that for the price tag, I think he signed for Dortmund for like £20 million, which at the time was a massive steal for what he looked like he could bring towards the team. So it's an interesting thing. The reason why interesting way that it hasn't worked out at Dortmund so much. And to be fair, how much Dortmund have fell off from last season, because I know obviously losing Bellingham is huge, but they've fallen off massive, compared to what they was last season. They nearly won the Bundesliga title, and realistically should have done in that sense as well. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on the Donyell Malen rumor as well. I want to know your guys' thoughts on him. Would you have him at Liverpool? Personally, can't see it, but it would be interesting to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But we are not seeing Thiago anymore. No, that is true. Chris saying, I swear Marlon has been linked with us every year. It's similar to Salah. We wanted Salah before he joined Chelsea. We wanted Marlon before he joined Dortmund. Didn't Marlon and Gakpo play together at PSV? Yes, they did. Marlon did play at striker, and Gakpo played on the left. So could potentially go there. As well, and we do love a Dutch league striker, don't we? In that sense. But who was the midfielder everyone wanted who went to PSG last summer? Manuel Ugarte. I really wanted Ugarte at Liverpool. I thought he would have been perfect for us in the system as well. But once Alonso was appointed Liverpool manager, every Leverkusen player will get linked. Yeah, the main two for me, if Alonso does come to Liverpool and if he is the next Liverpool manager, the Frimpong rumours will get thrown out every single week before something happens with him. Like, I'm trying to think of like who's players that constantly got linked with, like Nabil Fekir, even though what happened with him happened, consistently every single summer got linked to Liverpool. And even when he finally moved to Betis, he never then got linked again properly. But yeah, it'll be an interesting bit. Yeah, Yagate. Yes, Yagate, is he available? Probably not. I would probably say that again, and the money that he's on as well is ridiculous. I think he's on like 200 grand a week, which again, he's not going to leave PSG anytime soon. Because when you do think about it, and I don't think many people remember this from last season. Most likely, if Chelsea had got Manuel Ugarte, Liverpool don't miss out on Moises Caicedo. I was going to say miss out on him. Yeah, but it's most likely Liverpool do get Moises Caicedo, um, because I can't see Liverpool going on to miss out on Ugarte. Not Ugarte, sorry. I can't see Liverpool missing out on Caicedo if Chelsea then go on to spend, I think, what was it, like 62 million release clause on Ugarte. I can't see Liverpool, because they both play the same position. But then also saying that, I mean, Chelsea just sign players for the fun of it, as well. But yeah. Yeah, but Mark saying everyone in their nan will be linked to us as well. Yeah, I'm surprised my actual nan has been linked to Liverpool yet so far. Anyway, but the decline, I agree on that, but disagree on saying he's not any good. But each to their own as well. Yeah, obviously we'll get on to Kimmich in a minute, but I just don't think he's good enough anymore. And I loved Joshua Kimmich. That 2020 Bayern Munich team, that midfield of Kimmich and Thiago was unbelievable. I loved watching them. Loved them watching the Bundesliga, that Champions League, obviously the mini tournament thing as well, watching that midfield battle, when they played throughout that was amazing. But Joshua Kimmich for me is massively on the decline. Maybe he may look better in La Liga, or he may look good in certain other, but I don't like Kimmich, and I don't like the thought about Liverpool signing him as well. But again, like you said, Chris, each to their own. As well, Red Machine saying everyone's who's clinical can sign for Liverpool. Yeah, 100%. Elise, I'd love Elise at Liverpool, but well, I was going to say injuries, but he'd be the perfect Liverpool player by doing that. Again, if you're injured and you're good, sign for Liverpool. That's literally the advert Liverpool should be running with. Marling on the left would be okay, but it all depends on who leaves us. The thing is, I can't see anyone going. Like the Lucho stuff, again, it all depends on the money. Like I would be really, really interested to see how much Liverpool want for him. If it is 100 million, I don't think he goes anywhere, for me anyway. But Nkapi would be a good with Wirtz as well. Yeah, Florian Wirtz is definitely someone who, if Liverpool do bring in Alonso, I would like Alonso to bring in with Liverpool as well. Imagine, you could potentially have, Wirtz in your midfield, or even on, as a 10, or even on the right hand side. I think that would be an interesting take as well. But Nkapi would be a perfect player for us, especially having him and Konza as well. Yeah, could be 100%. I think there's a few this summer. Like Liverpool will definitely sign a centre off this summer. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool signs a few things this summer. I think goalkeeper Liverpool are going to have to sign, because Adrian's definitely going to go. Wouldn't be surprised if he. I would be surprised, sorry, if he stayed. I wouldn't be surprised to see if we got a new goalkeeper in that sense. Centre half, we need a new one because Joel Matip will be going. I know Joel Konza can come in, and rightfully so. He's been amazing since he's been put into the team this season. But Liverpool will have to sign another one, preferably obviously a left-sided centre half, and then forward. And more so a right-sided forward, because yeah, we need one of them, because if Mo Salah gets injured, it's not looking too good in that sense as well. But like Jack's best player, Justin Ward-Prowse being linked on, yeah, but don't need James. Well, I think you mean James Ward-Prowse player, but yeah, definitely don't need James Ward-Prowse in this Liverpool team. But what happened to Manu Kone deals? Well, Manu Kone is still at Mönchengladbach. I think if he didn't have the knee injury, I think he would have. I think he may have joined Liverpool. in the summer, because the rumored price tag and the actual player as well. I think would have definitely been interested in whether or not he would have joined Liverpool. I think there was talks of around 20 million euros, which was 16 million. That's nothing. Kefren Turam is another one as well. Again, I think Kefren Turam, I thought would have moved to the Premier League, but again, still at Nice. Wouldn't be surprised if he joined Man United now, because Radcliffe has connections both ways as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw, not Kimmich, sorry, if we saw Kevin Turam at Manchester United next season. But Kimmich is still good. I would take him, but I know what you're getting. Getting Endo, making that places owned by Setic, going to have a say as well. Yeah, 100%. People forget Bajcetic is, what is he, 19? Like, he's got 3-4 more years of development before we should be thinking about him starting for Liverpool. But again, we know Liverpool, when we do like the playing the kids out and so on as well. So look, hopefully next season will be Bajcetic's year. Obviously difficult season with injury, but hopefully next season he will be back banging in as well. But teams need to improve every season to stay consistent and be able to fight for the titles. 100%. We agree with you with that, Mark. Is Seb van der Berg still an option? I'm not too sure, because it's like certain people have said as well, in terms of, you look at Luke Chambers as well. Luke Chambers currently, I think, on loan to Wigan this season. Xabi Alonso wanted him at Leverkusen in the summer. So, Luke Chambers could get an opportunity in Liverpool's team in the summer. It's really a free for all in the summer. If Alonso comes in, if Amorim comes in, it's really going to be an interesting couple of weeks at the start of the pre-season, and who comes in and who Liverpool realistically want to let go of next season, because Fabio Carvalho as well could come back and be a choice for Liverpool next season. There's options there, but it's hard. Training that brings injuries, 100%. Do we need a better number 2? I'm still not on Keller Strain. No, I don't think we do. I think there's a possibility, though, Keller does go in the summer. Because I think the big problem is for him at the minute, he's still not Ireland's number 1, which is mad to say, considering he's practically Liverpool's goalkeeper at the minute. But there are certain, I was listening to a podcast, I think a couple of days ago, and they were saying that Keller is not Ireland's number 1 goalkeeper at the minute. And I think to potentially do that, he might have to move to a Premier League club to be able to get a move in that sense as well, and be able to then put himself fully in the Ireland bracket. But I don't know, it'd be interesting. But we could definitely be seeing Liverpool sign number 2 and a number 3 goalkeeper in the summer, depending on who goes and who stays. But we spent 172 mil last summer on our midfield overall. What will the budget be for the new manager? I'd say 100 mil off the bat. I think, again, who knows what's going to happen? The problem is Liverpool. We thought last season it was pretty unpredictable what Liverpool were going to do. This summer it's the same, because we don't know the manager. We don't know. Say if Alonso was to come in, we don't know what he wants. We don't know who he thinks should be where. He could think Trent into the midfield. Could sign a new right back. Again, there's very much a conversation of what Liverpool will do. Once we know who the manager is going to be, you'll have some inkling of what he'll do. But again, until then, we don't know. But didn't Kone turn us down? No, he got injured, Mark, in the under-21 Euro tournament last season. When Liverpool started talking to Mönchengladbach about him, he got injured and was out for 3 months. So, Liverpool not going to sign anyone with a clear knee injury, at least anyway. But I'm not sure we bring in a midfield if Clark is involved. True, Bobby Clark could be definitely an option for Liverpool next season as well. I was just saying, Nat Phillips, Van der Berg, Reece Williams at the back, along with Calvin Ramsey and Owen Beck as well. Owen Beck's a really good footballer as well, but I think Nat Phillips 100% be gone. I think he might actually join Cardiff, in the summer, because there's a lot of talk about Cardiff really, really liking him. So there's talk about that. I honestly think the manager deal has been done. It's just weird how it all went down and was announced. Yeah. Hopefully you are right, Mark, in that sense anyway. But we will get on and we will talk about the final story of the video. We'll talk about Joshua Kimmich. Now, Florian Plintenberg has said this on the Kimmich situation, saying that FC Bayern are indeed prepared to sell Kimmich this summer if a sustainable offer comes in. Obviously, Joshua Kimmich is not ruling out a move, and he is open to discuss with potential buyers. There's still no concrete talks about a new contract beyond 2025. It did also go on to say that only 5 top clubs are in contention or consideration, for Kimmich: Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona. Some of the mentioned 5 clubs have already contacted Kimmich. So again, it would be interesting to know who they are. And he did also go on to say a move to Manchester United, Chelsea, and Paris is not an option for him. So out of those 5 clubs, chat, what are we saying? Who has contacted Joshua Kimmich for a potential move? Now, I think the 2 in this list, and again, it's not saying, because again, he says some of the mentioned 5 clubs have contacted Joshua Kimmich. I personally think the 2 that have contacted him are Arsenal and Barcelona. I think Barcelona are desperately wanting a number 6 in the summer. And I do really think that. I think that Barcelona, I think more so, are hoping Joshua Kimmich is available this summer. I think Liverpool's name is there just for namesake. I don't think Liverpool want a 29-year-old Joshua Kimmich. For me, Kimmich 3-4 years ago was amazing. Probably one of the best, if not the best 6 around. But if anyone watched Bayern Munich last season and this season, there is a decline there. We've seen already a decline in Fabinho. We don't want to sign anyone with a further decline in Joshua Kimmich. And again, it's a shame. Again, obviously Bayern Munich, obviously Thomas Tuchel wanted to let go of Kimmich in the summer. By the looks of things, he wanted to sign a new number 6, which was Joel Palhinha. But again, that didn't happen, so it ended up being Joshua Kimmich and I think Leon Goretzka playing as a 2 in the midfield again this season. But let me know your guys' thoughts. I can't see him going anywhere in the Premier League personally. I only see him going abroad, which by that list it's only Real Madrid and Barcelona. Now Real Madrid don't need him in that sense as well, where again, they've got their midfield. They've got their young midfield in terms of Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Jude Bellingham. Obviously, I think Luka Modric will be leaving, I think, in the next 12 months. But I do think that Barcelona is the destination for Joshua Kimmich. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Do you think that you would be joining or could potentially join an English team? Again, obviously, Pep's worked with him before at Bayern Munich. Could he go to City? I don't think so. But again, it would be an interesting debate as well. But in terms of Liverpool, I don't see Kimmich joining Liverpool whatsoever, especially because now Michael Edwards is around and so on, and we know we don't tend to sign people who's over 30 or nearing 30 anyway in that sense. But to be fair, as what Endo shows, again, age is just a number in that sense as well. But yeah, would be a safe bet as well. Obviously, Joshua, as Chris said there, Kimmich will go to Barcelona. I think he'll go to Barca. I think he's got, 1 year left in his deal. Summer of 25 is when his deal runs out. They could easily, spend 20-30 million on Kimmich, I believe, and go and get him in that sense. Because even when you look at at the Spanish league, La Liga. Joshua Kimmich, I think, would make a lot of sense for it. You look at Sergio Busquets, for example. He, what was he, 34, 35 when he left Barca, and was still one of the best, in La Liga, in terms of a DM. But yeah, I do think that he goes to Barcelona. There's no way he joins Liverpool, or any English team in that sense. But even though the EPL is the greatest in the world, more clubs have more money. Yeah, 100%. Madrid, for example, Kimmich may go to City as well. Could do. Could be a backup for Rodri in that sense, but I can't see it personally. But again, could be a shock and surprise. And let's just say that anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments anyway. With all the stories that we have mentioned tonight anyway. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. There'll be more rumors this week with certain things. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a managerial update as well this week. But again, if there is anything that does pop up sometime this week, we will be on it. Whether it's a quick short or a video, we'll be on it this week anyway. But players like Kimmich at 29-30 just have potential to be another Thiago. Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? It's a shame what's happened with Thiago, because when we signed Thiago, and I think I said this when we signed him on the video, the only player in the world at the time in midfield that was probably better than him was Kevin De Bruyne. I really did hold Thiago to a very high, high end. When we signed him, and I thought he would have took us on to another level in the midfield. But yeah, like the 21-22 Thiago, those last 4 months of the season, he was outstanding. Like that Thiago Alcantara was amazing, and he was a crucial reason to how we got, where we got to in that season. Again, I think we dropped, was it 4 points, in the second half of the season, which is mental to go by. So yeah, so ridiculous. But I would love to see the outgoings for go crazy amounts, Coutinho type. Yeah, of course we'd love that, LJ. But again, I have to wait and see, won't we? What the club does in the summer. I still see about 5 players leaving the club. Mark, let me know who you think's going to leave. I think the fringe players might be going. Like, and in terms of, when I mean fringe, I mean, Adrian's going to be going. Matip's going to be leaving. Nat Phillips will go. Midfield, I can't really see anyone going off the top of my head. Forward line, could potentially one of them could go. The big one being Mo Salah. Again, his future is still in debate. Will Mo get a new contract? Obviously, Virgil van Dijk's up as well. I think Virgil will get a new deal for sure. Trent needs contract extension again. So it's going to come thick and fast. Michael Edwards and Will Hughes have got a busy couple of months coming up as well. But hopefully, we'll get some good news in that sense. Anyway, but I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, big thank you for everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button as well. If you're new, if you want to share out the stream as well, it's very much appreciated as well. Again, massively thank you for all the support on the videos and all that good stuff as well. Let me quickly read the last few comments. Jota, I think too. Jota going. Wow, I didn't think Diogo would go. But again, we could be surprised. Luis Diaz for me might go. He's rumored for Barca as well. I can see it, but I can't see Barca paying high millions for him. They are skint, like proper skint. But again, could be a wonderful deal, if they put something towards it. But again, we'll have to wait and see. That sense anyway. But big up LJ as well. Hopefully have a good night, mate. And Mark saying thanks to everyone as well. Yeah, if you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Normally live at 9. But yeah, obviously keep your notifications on for whenever we go live. If there's any news that pops up as well, we'll go live, or again, as do shorts and so on as well. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Colin from the COP Council. I'll see you guys later on. Ta-ra.